Say, baby, I love you. You ain't running game. You acting kinda shady and calling me baby by the sudden change. Let me turn off Destiny's Child. But anyway, hey y'all, it's your girl Be Easy. So the reason why I named the video is there intimacy lacking within the black community, and I got the idea actually from another YouTuber. His name is Tommy Sotomayor. So just go check out his channel and his perspective on why there's intimacy lacking in the black community. And I was reading the comments and everything like that, and I would definitely say yes, there is intimacy lacking within the black community because of my personal experiences. And what he was saying was that he noticed when he has sex with women, there is no kissing, no hugging, no touching, like no touchy-feeliness, no conversation afterwards, no snuggling afterwards. You know, even just like, even if you're not having sex, like intimacy is not just for sex. It also is, I guess, maybe PDA, or if, you know, just being snuggled up with one another, being vulnerable, all of those things, you know. And I just look at like a lot of my friends and people who I know, and you just really don't see it really amongst black people. I wish I could see it more. And he was even saying how, like, with his mother, like, she's not a big hugger. And please excuse the bumpiness. Cleveland has some of the worst streets ever. Okay? But anyways, back to the topic. So, he was saying, like, his mom is not a big hugger. And I can totally agree with that aspect of it, too. Because when my grandmother God rest her soul, like, she wasn't like that. My grandmother and grandfather had 7 kids, 5 girls and 2 boys. And they never, like, I'm not gonna say they never hugged their kids, but I never met my grandfather, because he died before I was born. But my grandmother, she was not like a very nurturing, affectionate, motherly type. And her mom passed away when she was 2. And then her dad married a girl who was only a few years older than my grandmother. So, like, say, for example, my grandma was 11. Her stepmother was, like, 15. You know, they grew up in Alabama, in the country. And that's, you know, that was kind of what went down in black homes back during those times. So, I'm going to assume that because my grandmother, in this particular situation, my grandmother really didn't have a mother to, like, nurture her and everything like that. It was just her and her sisters. I feel like my grandmother passed on those traits and characteristics to her children. So, and I've never seen my aunts hug one another. I've never seen that, ever. You know, but it's weird because my sister, and my, like, pretty much all of my first cousins, we will hug and embrace one another when we see each other. And I remember, like, back in the summer, my sister came back from Atlanta, and she was like, yeah, you know, they just look at them as in our aunts, look at my sister and our cousins like we're strange because we embrace one another. We just smack each other on the butt on some silliness, like, butt it. Like, that's just how we are. We hug each other, you know, and get all mushy, like, and so my sister said, she was like, yeah, I was hugging our auntie, and it was like, she hugged back, of course, but it was just one of those, like, you're not really all into the hug. It's kind of like one of those halfway hugs, and it's like, okay, you know, it's awkward for them. So I think that's one aspect of the lack of intimacy in the black community. We do not embrace each other like we should, and it could come from multiple different. It could come from, I guess, different ways or whatever, however you want to say it. So me and other people in the comment section were saying that we think that another part of the lack of intimacy amongst the black community and in general, amongst other races too, I say porn. I think porn plays a huge chunk in it, and I'm gonna tell you why. And the reason why I say it does is because porn is created. It's a part of Hollywood. You know what I mean? They can edit and do anything they want to make porn look as, I guess, realistic as possible. But porn is really unrealistic. You know, a lot of the things they do in porn are just not what the average person does. And that's on a few levels. I'm not even going to get into it because I don't watch porn. I don't like porn. And like I said, I'm a Christian, so I'm celibate anyways. So I don't need to look at that. But I think the concept of porn, just the concept of watching other people have sex, to me is just weird. I don't like watching other people have sex. I just think it's weird. You know, and I was actually exposed to porn. I watched it when I was a kid, and I should have not ever seen porn as a child. And you would think that me being exposed to porn that early in life, I would grow up to like watch it. But the complete opposite happened. And even when I was a kid and I saw it, you know, I'm a kid, so I'm like, ooh. But in the back of my head, I knew I'm like, this is not something I should be watching. People underestimate kids, but kids are smart for real. And I definitely was smart. And I knew when something wasn't right. And I still thought it was weird, you know. And so I was just like, I don't want to watch this no more. I don't want to watch cartoons. So it's really sad. It's not even funny for real. But anyways, so back to the topic at hand. Okay, so Hollywood or any type of movie director, they can put any message in a movie that they want to kind of, I guess, get people to maybe think how they think, or maybe buy a product or anything like that. It's kind of almost like, think about like black women and their hair. Amongst black women, it's become the norm to wear weave. And you gotta think about it for a second, like, damn, why does the vast majority of black women perm their hair and wear weave when we weren't doing that before? It's, you know, so think about like when TVs were invented, we see this quote unquote standard of beauty. And so you see, we watching TV, and there's pretty much, let's say when TV was first invented, there's nothing but white people on TV. And so, you know, let's just say, yeah, they put that out there on purpose to make you feel like, oh, you know, I just want to look like her. I want to look like Marilyn Monroe or anything like that. And if you're not strong-minded enough to actually realize what's going on when you watch TV, you watch movies, and you watch shows, then you can become subjected to try to imitate certain behaviors, think a certain way, or just change your appearance. And that's what I think happened with black women in their hair. This just standard of beauty was just thrown at society in general. And so, you know, we kind of want to imitate like what white women look like. Black girls ain't gonna admit that, but some will, but black girls ain't gonna admit that. But it is strange though. You gotta think about it though. It's like, why do we perm our hair and wear weave when that's not what our ancestors would look like? Or it's weird. And so porn, if you watching something, it seeps into your psyche, and then you start to imitate